Hi you guys, we are in Chapter 10, Section 3, and we are looking at circles. Our objectives are to write and graph the equation of a circle, and to find the center and radius of a circle, and use those to graph the circle. Now let's first look at the vocab. A circle is the set of all points in a plane that are a distance r from a given point, called the center of a circle. So let's fill this in. It says the circle is the set of all points in a plane that are a distance r from a given point, called the center of a circle. And the distance r is the radius of the circle. So let's look at standard form of an equation of a circle. Here's our standard form. Our center for our circle is going to be at the points HK, and our radius is R. So filling this in, center HK, radius R. So we want to write the equation of the circle given, looking at our examples below. To do this, we are going to use our standard form, so I'm going to write it out. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And I'm just getting this from what we see up here, our standard form. Now we know the center is hk and our radius is r. So all I have to do is fill this in. I'm going to label this above h comma k, and here's our radius r. So filling this in, x minus negative 4, minus a negative will make it positive, squared, plus y minus k, so y minus 3, that quantity squared, is equal to radius squared. So if r is 4, then 4 squared will be 16. So here's the equation of the circle. Now you try. Go ahead and write the equation of the circle given, that the center is 5, negative 2, and the radius is 8. Now we're going to use translations to write an equation. So this first example says, what is an equation for the translation of x squared plus y squared equals 4 by 4 units left and 3 units up? Well, if we think about this equation in standard form, if we write it back over here so we can see it, was x minus h, the quantity squared, plus the quantity of y minus k squared, oops, forgot my parentheses, equals r squared. Well, then we see that looking at our equation, we don't really have an h and a k, which means that our center is at 0, because x minus 0 squared is just x squared, and y minus 0 squared is just y squared. So our center is at 0, 0. But we want to write the equation of this translated 4 units left and 3 units up. So if I go 4 units left and I was at 0, 0, then I'm now going to be at negative 4, because 0 and then going left would be minus, so 0 minus 4 is negative 4. And then 3 units up, so 0 plus 3, I'll be at the new center of negative 4, 3. Notice it doesn't say anything about my radius changing. So to write the equation for this translation, I just need to fill in my new center. So my new h is negative 4, my new k is 3. So I have x plus 4 squared, that quantity, plus the quantity of y minus 3 squared. And that's equal to my radius squared, and my radius, again, it didn't change, so it's just 4. And that's it. So you try, what is an equation for the translation of x squared plus y squared equals 1? You're going 5 units left and 3 units down. And then the second you try, what is an equation for the translation of x squared plus y squared equals 9 by 2 units right and 7 units up? All right, now let's use circles to solve problems. In this example, it says you row a boat from the water's edge to the center of a circular pond located 30 feet north and 80 feet west of your starting point. So just so you remember, it goes north, east, south, west, right? Never eat soggy waffles. It says if the location where you began rowing is the origin, what equation represents the water's edge around the pond? So that's what it's really asking. What equation represents the water's edge around the pond? It's just asking you for the equation of the circle, since the pond is circular. So if we have a picture of our pond, I guess, and it says you're at the water's edge, and it says we're at the water's edge, so we're along our circle, right? We're on a point of our circle, and yes, thank you, brilliant circle. It says if the location where you began rowing is the origin. Okay, so if we began rowing, and we'll say we began right here, and this is our origin. So on our graph, it's our origin. And it says that we row to the center of the circular pond, so we'll make this our center, and it's located 30 feet north, so this is at the point 30, comma, and 80 feet west. Well, west in our case is going to be negative 80, according to our compass up here. So here's kind of a picture to get an idea. We want to write the equation that represents the water's edge around the pond. And oh, actually I wrote this wrong. Our point, oh, I can't, let's see if I can erase this. No. Okay, so we're just going to cross this out. Our point's actually, it's the other way around here, because if we go 30 feet north, north is going to represent our y coordinate, because it's up and down, and west is going to represent our x coordinate since it's left and right. So it's actually negative 80, comma 30. So using our standard form of an equation of a circle, we have x minus h, that quantity squared, plus y minus k, that quantity squared, is equal to the radius squared. So we see what our center is. We have our h and our k, so we can fill that part in, and we have x minus a negative 80, so x plus 80, that quantity squared, plus y minus k, y minus 30, that quantity squared, is equal to r squared. So now we just need to find our radius. In order to solve for our radius, we can plug in any point on our circle for x and y and solve for r. Well, since we know that we started at the water's edge, which was at the origin, well then we can plug in the point 0, 0 for x and y. So we can solve for r. So if I do that work down below, 0 plus 80, that quantity squared, plus 0 minus 30, that quantity squared, is equal to r squared, well then I get 80 squared, which is, let's see, 6,400, plus negative 30 squared, which will be 900, that's equal to r squared. So I know r squared is 7,300. And I don't actually have to solve for r squared, since what I'm filling in up here is r squared. So now I know that the equation that represents the water's edge around the pond is x plus 80, this quantity squared, plus the quantity of y minus 30 squared, is equal to 7,300. And here's the answer. Alright, so now let's find the center and radius. So in this example it says, what are the center and radius of the circle with the given equation? Well, all we have to do is compare this to standard form. Again, our standard form was x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So we can easily see that our h is 16, so our center is going to be 16, comma, our k, since it says plus 9, is really negative 9. And our radius, if r squared is equal to 144, then if we take the square root of each, then r is 12. And we know, even though we took the square root and we should get a plus or minus, we can't have a negative radius, so our radius is just positive 12. So these are our answers to our question, and you try the ones below. The second you try is a little bit trickier because it's not in standard form. So you're going to need to get this in standard form so you can find the center and radius of the circle. I'll give you a hint. To do so for the second you try, you're going to need to not combine, but rearrange it a little to get the x squared and the 6x together, the y squared and the 14y together. And then to make them a binomial squared, you'll have to find perfect square trinomials that you can factor into a binomial squared. Okay, so good luck, pause it, and then see the last slide. Alright, so the last part is to graph a circle using the center and the radius. So we have the standard form of equation of a circle. First thing you should do is identify the center. So here's our h, here's our k, this is our r squared. So our center is going to be at -1, 3, and our radius, if r squared is 25, then our radius is just 5. So to graph this, it's pretty simple. Start at the center, so -1, 3. -1, 3 is right here. And we're just going to take the radius and we're going to go in all directions. We're going to go up 5 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, from our center. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go right 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, again from our center. Go down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll go to the left 3. Left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now you just need to connect all your points except for your center in a circular fashion. And we graphed a circle using our center and radius. Alright, so you try this last one below. Oh, sorry. Make sure you copy down all the notes and you copy down all of my examples. And that's it for this video. So I'll see you in class. Thanks.